and then frame her and then have her be just go to prison because she's the easiest. Like that would just be the goodest way to get rid of her, right? I mean, they don't treat people who hurt kids well in prison. So honestly, it'd probably shut her up really fast when she didn't have any teeth in her mouth. So yeah, I'm not super buying into that theory. I won't fault anyone for looking whichever way they want to look, though. I mean, like, I'm just glad people are still interested and they're still keeping things alive. And so whatever it is, like, just the more people looking, I think is the best way. And so, if all of us pick something that we believe in and we branch out, that's gonna be way more effective than everyone piling on one idea, because that's gonna go absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And Lita's saying, James, do you know if your parents knew anyone from Skyline Church or any odd people that were overtly friendly towards Kyron? Anything about anyone from soccer school being creepy friendly towards Kyron? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe if Terry was really involved in the Skyline School community, like there was people that also went to the church. I mean, small communities tend to go to the small community church, so there's probably some overlap there. But I don't know anything about that. More than just coincidence of it. For soccer, I think Kane was at almost all of his games. It would make sense because Kane was at almost all of my games when I did sports. And so I don't think that he would have allowed any of that to occur. I don't think that would happen. And then at school, I haven't heard anyone being creepy at school. I don't know anything about that. And then did you and Kane ever discuss why you were sent away? Yeah, totally. We talked about it. He was gone. He told me that he had nothing to do involved and that he was surprised by the information when he heard it. Because he basically got a phone call saying, like, James is gone.
Do you think it would have been any different if he was there?
Hard to tell. It's hard to tell. I don't know if he would have diffused it or changed, how things would have gone. But yeah, no clue.
Yeah, because I don't understand that part. But as a mom, I guess I can see it. But my spouse would be like, hell no, he would be fighting with me. And you and Kane were so close. I don't know. Things might have been different, but I feel for you because I feel like your life was just like this. I can't explain it. I don't want to sound mean, but it was like messed up when you were younger. But now I'm like, I look at you and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm so proud of you for doing everything you've done, for like accomplished so far, like in your schooling. You went to the Marines, like you didn't grow up to be like one of these screwed up people, like out here on drugs and all this stuff because of everything that's happened. So keep doing what you're doing because you're about to graduate and then you're going to be, what did you say you wanted to be again?
Probably I'll go into software engineering.
Yeah. That's awesome. So everything you've been through, you accomplished and you just got through it. And I'm so happy you're back now and, focusing on Kyron's case and out here helping. That's amazing.
Sarah is asking, allegedly she was telling friends that you were butting heads with Kane. Why do you think she said that? I mean, if that's true, I don't know. I didn't see, I heard there's like emails about it. It probably would look bad, honestly. Like, to be like, oh yeah, I kicked him out. So, if that did happen, that's my guess for why it would have gone that way. But I don't know if it did happen. So. Oh, sorry, but yeah, Kane and I did butt heads though. So I mean that is a fact. Like Kane and I did argue, but I don't think that why. If that's not why I was kicked out. Like it wasn't. I was kicked out because I was butting heads with Kane.
Yeah. I do want to also make a statement to all these people saying like you were this person, because I see on other groups, not naming one specific, but that you were this horrible person, this horrible brother. You know, my siblings do the worst to each other. Like they, oh my God, I don't even know how many times I've had to take one to the hospital because the other one like runs their foot over with somebody or with something, or one of them punches each other in the face. And I'm like, even if you and Kyron like one day did, I mean, that's what siblings do. And so I get so tired of seeing all that stuff. I brought it back to where, you know, it's being said that you did this and you did that. And it's like siblings do that kind of crap. So even if it was true, like I honestly just see that as a sibling thing. Like my kids all day, 24/7 fight. It's ridiculous. Like one will throw a controller at the other one's head, but I'm not gonna sit there and like think, be like, yeah, he hates the other child, like the other sister, or whatever.
We were a pretty no nonsense household, so I think that any sort of squabbles that would have ever occurred were shut down incredibly quickly. Like we were just always supervised. You know, we didn't even like the farthest that like Kyron and I would solo go was like the walnut tree in the front yard. And
Uh-huh.
so, and you know, even then it's because, you know, one of them's in the living room, you know, they were always there to help out if we needed them. So I don't think, you know, there was we weren't a household that allowed that kind of stuff. Like I said, we were pretty strict, you know, very no nonsense. And it just, you know, we just didn't do that. You know, so every family's different. You know, I go to my dad and stepmom's house, and growing up as kids, you know, a lot more arguments between us siblings. But yeah, with at Kane's house, it just wasn't like that.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anyone? Oh, sorry, I'm making pizza for the kids because it's already late. Oh, that did not work out good. Um, does anyone else have questions? Oh, my phone died.
I just wanted to say thank you, James. Thank you for coming on and doing this. That means a lot.
Yeah, of course. I'm glad that I could help out. Yeah, that was nice. And it's cool to see how many people are interested. Um, you know, I know not everyone has to download Zoom, and I appreciate people being flexible with all of this.
Right.
Um, oh, let's see what Sarah said. There's been a statement made from someone close to Kyron that you were the cause of his nightmares and that he wet the bed. One incident was that you allegedly leaving him in the woods to find his way home after you took his glasses off, and another with a shed. Okay, so for starters, they're both bullshit. I mean, that's the easy cut and dry answer. So with the nightmares and the wetting the bed thing, Kyron did wet his bed. He had those like plasticky sheets that you put on to make it as easy to clean as possible. But that's just, you know, how it went. I don't know why. There's been speculation among the family for different reasons for that. I don't really want to go into that because it's not great, like the topic itself. But the nightmares thing, it's not true. I Kane would have shut that down so fast. Like it just would have never occurred. The whole going into the woods. Like I said, we never left the walnut tree area. Just didn't happen. I don't know where that family member got their information. And then, and then what was the incident with the shed again? So the funny part about it is the shed was actually dropped on me, and Kyron wasn't involved whatsoever. So I dug out this burn pit, and we were burning this 100-year-old shed, which now, as I'm older, I'm like, my God, that would have been so much money to like actually salvage those boards, but it's fine. So we are burning this 100-year-old shed. And so I was taking the boards off apart and putting them into a burn pile, or into the burn pit that I had dug out. At one point, I had pulled one too many boards, and the shed fell over on top of the burn pit on one side. Was inside at the time, but it was pretty much just down to the 2x4s at that point. So I mostly made it out. I got caught at like the lower legs and got knocked over, but I crawled out of it. It wasn't like a big deal. The shed didn't weigh a lot. It was pretty small. Probably 8 feet by 10 feet kind of shed. So yeah, that was the shed story. Kyron wasn't even there for that. I don't think. Like it definitely wasn't outside, but I don't even know if he was at the house when that happened. So yeah, they're both just fictional. Your mother claims she is deaf in 1 year. 1 ear, is that true? Yeah. She growing up, she always had me enunciate things extra, and she would turn her head, and I wasn't really supposed to talk if she was like had the water turned on, and she was always having me repeat myself. So yeah, her left ear, it doesn't work as well. Like she's, I don't know if she wears a hearing aid or not in it. But I think it's a genetic thing. I don't think it was like an injury thing. I think she just doesn't have great hearing in that ear. Yeah, of course.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my phone died.
No, it's okay. Happens.
But I also wanted to bring up the walk that we're planning. I know we talked to you a little bit about it. So we're planning on doing a walk on Kyron's birthday, which is September 12th. Wait, September 9th. But we're gonna figure out the details. It's gonna be like a nationwide thing. Like, I want everybody to go live while they're doing it. I'm not sure what kind of like miles or how far, what like I don't know yet. I know I am gonna contact media, and we are going to try to get donations to put out there for his reward money. I think we talked to you about that, right?
Yeah, I think you sent me a message about that.
Yeah. So that's another thing I want everybody like watching to know about, and we'll have more details like later on, but it's something coming up as well.
Let's see. Sarah says, how did you feel when Kyron went missing? Emotionally, how did that affect you? Your whole family fell apart. How is Terry feeling about Kyron's disappearance and then being suspected for his disappearance? I was pretty angry. I would say that was the easiest way to describe my emotions at the time. I was very angry, and on top of that, I felt like I was being left out of the loop because of my age, even though I'm, 16 and for the most part kind of doing my own thing. It was frustrating to not be as involved as I would have liked to have been. My family falling apart didn't really make a difference to me because I kind of was already out of that. So, she did end up moving into my grandparents' house, and so that caused arguments as she attempted to become a parent again. But yeah, them actually like separating didn't really impact me at all. It's not my first divorce, wasn't my first rodeo, not a big deal. She was very emotional every time when the whole duration she was at my grandparents' place. She was honestly an emotional wreck, and yeah, I think that sums up her feelings on that. She was very paranoid because she felt like people just were out to get her, and I think that was very frustrating for her at the time to just feel like you have your kid missing, and then to just have no support whatsoever as a support system. I guess she had my grandparents, but
500
doesn't do much,
490
in the grand scheme of things. So
Georgia.
would you ever call and speak to Kyron after you moved out? how did
Or
Kyron
he's
feel
lost a lot of weight.
about you? Was he
It's-
close to you? Yeah, Kyron and I were close. I mean, we were the only people that hung out with each other for, the entire time that we grew up as kids. And we talked once after we moved out. In fact, I believe that's the only phone call I actually answered to. Was because he was going to be on the phone, and so I did get to talk to him, and I think that was a month or two before we went missing.
That probably hurt you too,
Because
also,
since
right?
he had-
Like not being close to him in those last months when you were kicked out. Like,
I think I didn't think of it as
I
too big of a
told
deal
my
at the time
brother
because I knew it was temporary, and I had a lot I was dealing with, so I was very busy, and it had only been a few months, right? So
mhm.
I would have liked to have seen him more, but I was more angry
pertaining to this story,
that
please reach out.
I
to me.
was keeping my distance from all of that. I've been kind of informed
I've
that I
talked
wasn't
to
coming
some
back,
people
and
already.
so to me that
about
wasn't
the
really
story,
even an option. So I think that was kind of my focus at the time, because you don't ever expect to not be able to see someone again. Like that wasn't even an option in my mind, was that I was never going to see him again when I left that house. So yeah, if I'd known that was the last time, I would have been up there every day, or I would have just not left. But I didn't know.
Did
So,
this affect you in any way, like towards your relationships with people? Like, are you like, oh, it could happen any day. Something could happen, like, because I think every day I'm like, and I'm starting to be better about it, contacting people, because you never know when it is your last day or what will happen. My sister-in-law just passed 2 days ago, and it's like I saw her last week and I just ignored her. Like, it's a long story, but like, did this event, like Kyron's disappearance, make you feel like that? Like, let me get closer to people and start reaching out more, because you never know.
maybe the opposite. I think I distanced myself from people. So
Yeah.
I think that's been the easier route is, besides relationships that I already had, I think that I have avoided making new relationships.
Aww. That's so sad. I'm sorry.
That's,
Do you get along? I mean, you have your grandparents at least, right?
yeah, I see them every few months. So I drive down
Okay.
there and I go talk to them and hang out with them. So they're still doing well.
Okay. That's good. Do you speak to Kane's parents at all?
So Grandpa Neil actually passed away while I was in the Marine Corps. But I did see him a couple times afterwards, and I've talked to Grandma Chris a few times over the years. I visited her right after I got out of the Marine Corps. That's the last time I saw her. But I don't get to see them nearly as much as my maternal grandparents.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do you believe may have happened to Kyron? Do law enforcement have any other possibilities in their mind, or do you feel like they're focused on one place even now? I kind of did answer earlier about how I believe that it was like human trafficking, but when it comes to the law enforcement side of that, I think that they consider a couple possibilities in their mind. I do think that they're looking in multiple avenues and not just this one. I can't say if the one is their like number one priority, or not priority. What's the word I'm looking for?